Where is it born? The fire, the hunger that grips an individual so intensely, it drives his entire team. Two men lie at the heart of the NBA championship. Each has traveled a vastly different path. Each has pulled his team to the same point in time. Michael Jordan permits nothing but success, a national championship at North Carolina, 2 Olympic gold medals, 3 times the NBA MVP, twice a world champion.
My main driving force is to win 3 in a row and certainly somehow put myself in the elite category as Magic Johnson and Larry Bird.
Charles Barkley's road has been less satisfying. His days at Auburn brought little glory. His NBA career largely squandered on a team that could not win. Yet this year brought a new sense of destiny, a gold medal, a new team, the MVP.
The bottom line, the MVP is not my goal. If we don't win the world championship, I'm going to be crushed.
2 men, 2 paths, but 1 trophy. Only 1 champion.
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1993 NBA Finals. Tonight, Game 1 between the Chicago Bulls and the Phoenix Suns.
Arizona, welcome. Here's the brand new America West Arena, host to the finals in its first year as the Suns' home court. Phoenix had the NBA's best record this year, and the Suns have home court advantage in this series. Still, they're decided underdogs in the finals to the defending champion Bulls. And here comes the home team. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Costas, and welcome to the NBA Finals. In the case of the Chicago Bulls, it's welcome back for the 3rd year in a row. They seek, as you know, to become only the 3rd team to win 3 NBA championships in succession. To join George Mikan's Minneapolis Lakers of the early 50s, who won 3 straight, and Bill Russell's Celtics, who reeled off an untouchable 8 straight in the 50s and 60s. From the Celtics' last title of the Russell era in 1969 until the Lakers of 87 and 88, no NBA team had won back-to-back. But the last 6 years have produced repeats by Los Angeles, Detroit, and now Chicago. And now the Bulls try to separate themselves from an already elite group and move up a notch in history by eclipsing the Suns for number 3. Phoenix, meanwhile, has been in the finals only once before, losing to the Celtics in 1976. So they'll try to become champions for the first time in their 25-year history. The focal points, of course, are Barkley and Jordan. Barkley is the NBA's most quotable player, and he's been as accessible to the press as ever leading up to tonight's Game 1. But the news is that Michael Jordan has broken his 2-week media silence by sitting down with Ahmad Rashad for a lengthy interview that you'll see at halftime. Here's a quick bite of it as he responds to the criticism of his trip to Atlantic City 2 weeks ago.
Ahmad, I mean, I think one thing that a lot of people tend to forget, and even the media guys, they don't know what it takes to play the game of basketball. They don't know what it takes to prepare yourself to play the game of basketball. My teammates do. My loyalty is to my teammates. And I must prepare myself so that I can show that loyalty to the team. And I must do whatever I feel is my correct method of doing that. And it was a means of relaxing with my family and my friends. And it got me ready to play the game. I think the media took it out of context. A lot of people say, well, maybe you shouldn't have done it at that particular time, or, it was just a bad scenario. Well, no one knows what's good and what's a bad scenario unless you're the person that's actually going through that scenario. And I felt it was good that I get away. It just so happens that it was Atlantic City, and people took that further than what it should. Yeah, I had to accept that, and I did, but I didn't let it affect what my main objective was, and that was to go out there and show loyalty to this team, to my teammates, and get us to the next level.
We'll give almost the entire halftime over to Ahmad's interview with Michael Jordan. Right now, we'll give the broadcast over to Marv, Mike, and Magic. Marvelous.
All right, Bob, and first to a man who has made it to the NBA Finals 9 times. And Magic, I know you spent much time chatting with the likes of Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley in your days as members of the Dream Team in Barcelona. And I would think there have been several conversations, animated conversations, on the subject of winning a championship.
Well, when we were in Barcelona riding home from practice one day, Charles Barkley stood up and said, hey, the Phoenix Suns will be in the World Championship. So he was feeling good about himself until Michael Jordan then stood up and said, look, Charles, it's only 4 guys on this team with World Championship rings, and you're not one of them, so sit down.
What about the friendship between Jordan and Barkley? How will that be affected this series?
Well, Charles Barkley has said all week long that Michael and him is going to go play golf, they're going to go out to dinner. But in 1988, when Isaiah Thomas and the Detroit Pistons met the Lakers, it put a strain on our relationship. My teammates were wondering if he went to the basket, would I high foul him to see if I really wanted to win? And I can say right now that it did affect our relationship.
All right, Mike, we have focused on the 2 superstars, Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan, but this is a series that certainly could be decided by other people.
Marv, no question that Barkley and Jordan will draw the most attention. They'll also draw the most double teams. So other players must step up and produce, as happened in the last round for both teams. For Phoenix, it was Kevin Johnson who, against the Seattle Supersonic defense, continued to penetrate for scores, or at the appropriate time got to the defense and then dished off to his teammate Charles Barkley. For Chicago, as Michael Jordan struggled against New York's defense, it was Scottie Pippen who hit 2 game-winning shots. Game 4, the off-balance one to win that one, and then in Game 6, a critical 3-pointer with a minute remaining in the game to seal victory for the Chicago Bulls. So again, it'll be those other players, the supporting cast, that will decide the championship round. And oh, Magic, I'm going to give 2 awards out before we even get started. The Purple Heart Award goes to Dan Marley, who has to guard Michael Jordan, and the Red Badge of Courage to Horace Grant, who matches head up against Charles Barkley.
All right, we are set to get underway. For Charles Barkley, the goal is that first championship ring. For Michael Jordan, the quest begins for 3 in a row.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Nissan. It's time to expect more from a car. By Prescription Strength Lotrimin AF, the cure that gets it all. And by Miller Lite, great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the America West Arena at Game 1 of the 1993 NBA Finals between the Chicago Bulls and your Phoenix Suns. Now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the starting lineup for the Chicago Bulls. At forward from Clemson, number 54, Horace Grant. At forward from Central Arkansas, number 33, Scottie Pippen. At center from San Francisco, number 24, Bill Cartwright. At guard from Iowa, number 10, B.J. Armstrong. And at guard from North Carolina, number 23, Michael Jordan. Chicago Bulls head coach, Phil Jackson. Coach Paul Westphal.
From public addressing the voice of the Suns, Jeff Buck. Chicago Bull-like introduction, though, to the Phoenix Suns. Once again, we have double coverage on the sidelines, joined by Ahmad Rashad and Hannah Storm. Let's start with Ahmad.
All right, Marv, I know that before the last game I said that Chicago, the atmosphere in there was that they were very focused. It's the same. Horace Grant said it best when he said, we as a team feel like we have a chance to make history, and that's by winning our third championship. An update on Michael Jordan, who hasn't shot well. At the end of the last series with New York, he had a knot on the back of his wrist. I checked with him today. The knot has gone down. He expects that will affect his shooting in the form that he will shoot better. Hannah?
Well, Ahmad, oftentimes the last thing an athlete sees as he enters the competitive arena is an inspirational sign above the door in the locker room. And Suns coach Paul Westphal has put up a special sign for the Suns during the playoffs. He said he was reading a book on NBA history and he liked what Bill Russell used to tell his team when he was coaching. The game is scheduled. We have to play. We might as well win. Well, it's not exactly poetic, but it is pragmatic, and that's the sort of attitude that these Suns are taking into the game as they look to win their first NBA title. Marv?
Thank you, Hannah. In this, the 25th season of the Phoenix Suns franchise, they are gunning for their first ever championship, while the Bulls are trying to become only the third team in the history of the league to make it 3 straight wins. The officials, Hugh Hollins, Hugh Evans, Jeff Kersey, 99 degrees outside, and things beginning to stir up inside. The opening tip controlled by Chicago, but the outside official, Hugh Hollins, says a do-over. It was a bad toss. And Hugh Evans will do it again. It is controlled by Phoenix as Kevin Johnson moves across against B.J. Armstrong. This is Dan Marley, played by Michael Jordan. Charles Barkley facing a double team momentarily. Barkley fires. Rebounded by the rookie Richard Dumas. And a foul is called on the Bulls. Foul committed by Bill Cartwright. So Marley will throw in. During the regular season, the Suns and Bulls split 2 games, each winning on the other team's home floor. Chicago winning here convincingly. Pippen with the steal. Pippen all the way. And the Bulls off to the 2-0 lead.
Immediately they go out and extend their defense, man-to-man, push out over the 90 feet, see what they can make happen, get a feel for the opponent you're guarding, and no question that ball pressure by B.J. Armstrong against KJ is going to be very important to the series.
Barkley finds West. Mark West serving up a facial and a whistle on the play. Scottie Pippen in a mild argument. He's called for the foul.
Chicago was 5th in the NBA this year in steals, averaging about 9.5 a game. They get their offense going immediately by playing good defense. And then Barkley, who will give up the basketball to an open teammate, finds Mark West down inside where he operates best.
Well, I think what the fans can look for in the Phoenix Suns side, look for them to be nervous. This is their first world championship. I remember when we played the Bulls in that first world championship in game 1, they were nervous. And so look for the Phoenix Suns team to be a little nervous.
It was 3 years ago that the Bulls able to settle down and knock off the Los Angeles Lakers.
When Chicago comes down to run its half-court offense, Dan Marley's assignment is keep the ball out of Michael Jordan's hands, deny him all over the floor, push him out as far as you can. So you'll see Marley paying all his attention to Michael. Forget the help defense.
B.J. Armstrong for 3. B.J. Armstrong has had a terrific playoff run, and he is the NBA's top 3-point percentage shooter, 45% from downtown during the regular season. The Bulls 5, the Suns 2. Marley had the baseline cut off. Johnson penetrating. Kevin Johnson, so effective off the dribble, was able to break it down.
Magic in the Cleveland series, B.J. Armstrong did a very good job against Mark Price and Terrell Brandon pressuring him. Kevin Johnson presents a few different problems, however.
Michael Jordan able to go glass to give the Bulls a 7-4 lead.
Well, the Bulls are doing an excellent job on their half-court offense. They're really looking to move the ball, move their bodies around.
West with the rebound. Richard Dumas, who did not play at all last Saturday in the 7th game, setting up Dan Marley. The Bulls 7 and the Suns 6. One of the major question matchups from the Phoenix point of view is Richard Dumas as Horace Grant gets the role. Dumas going against Pippen. Dumas had a solid rookie season. Did not play well against the Lakers in the opening round of the playoffs. Did not play well against Seattle. Jordan off the steal. 3-on-2. It's Grant from Jordan. It counts in the foul. The foul called on West.
Well, Charles Barkley's going to have to make sure he changes ends quickly because Grant could run the floor, but as KJ comes down, he loses the handle at the last second. I'm sorry, this particular one is where he scores. It was after that coming down that he had the turnover take place. But Grant, the guy who can run the floor, converts easily. Charles Barkley is going to have to run the floor with him.
But I like what I see with Chicago in terms of what they're trying to do. They're really executing their half-court offense very well. Right now, they're shooting, 5 for 5. They're taking their time and going to whoever they want the ball to go to.
Horace Grant completing the three-point play. It's Chicago 12, Phoenix 6. Marley handles, nearly trapped himself in midair. Oliver Miller has come on for the first time, and this is Miller. Miller does have a good touch from outside, although he went short on that first opportunity. 3 minutes, 10 seconds. Gone by. The double team on Pippen. Cartwright. Miller with the rebound. Miller playing despite congestion and a bad cold. He was a question mark. That is deflected out. Last touch by the Bulls. Game 2 Friday night here in Phoenix. Game 3 at Chicago on Sunday. Charles Barkley. So Barkley with his first field goal. Charles coming off a sensational 7th game against Seattle. Jess Kersey with the call against the Suns. It's on Dumas.
Well, you can see that what Chicago is trying to do is relieve the pressure and let BJ go down the court and let Scottie Pippen bring the ball down so they can take the pressure off of BJ because you know Kevin Johnson would be pressuring him.
The other thing, it's a test immediately for Dumas having to guard Pippen as much as he is early in the game here, knowing that Pippen can score or dish it off.
And Bill Cartwright does the scoring. Bill Cartwright came alive offensively against the Knicks. Some solid games. That's a blocking foul called on Armstrong.
That's not the kind of foul that BJ wants to pick up because if he gets a couple quick ones early, it will force Sean Paxson to come in, who does not have the same foot speed as BJ Armstrong. Both those guards, BJ and Paxson, not given enough credit for the excellent defense they play against point guards.
Barkley. So Charles is 1 for 4. Bulls lead it 14-8. Chicago has hit 6 of 7 from the field. Here's Grant. Yes. Horace Grant with the post-up move extending to an 8-point lead.
See, Horace Grant said in the paper today that he's going to go at Charles Barkley on offense.
Johnson tried to lead Barkley, and they called it a jump ball, a disagreement between the two officials. And Hugh Holland says, jump it up.
Well, if you're not sure, better jump it up. Okay, then make an incorrect call. The decision right there, off Barkley's hand last. Officials saw it different ways. One saw it off Grant, one saw it off Barkley. They were right. It was just that it was Charles last.
So it will be Barkley and Grant. Suns control the tip. Miller set the pick and roll, but Johnson went the other way. With the spin, had the ball knocked away, but recovered by Barkley. Bulls 16. And the Suns 10. We're just underway. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Magic Johnson. Jordan is bottled up. And it will be Phoenix ball.
Michael trying to find an opening down the lane, gets tied up from behind by Marley. Then Oliver Miller comes over, and the ball goes off Michael. Goes back to Phoenix.
6:53 to go. First quarter. Bulls by 6 over Phoenix. Bulls and Suns met only twice during the course of the regular season, so both clubs in the early going not certain what to expect, and it has been a feeling out process. We talked about that with Chicago Bulls coach Phil Jackson.
Well, we think that this is a ball club that if you don't know their personnel, you get lost, and they end up banging you for three-pointers or inside plays, or Barkley gets offensive rebounds. They run out in transition. A very unusual, unorthodox team. Pretty freelance style. New York is orthodox, execution. This team's going to be wide open. There's nothing you really can plan for except for the people. And you got to know how to play each people in every play, personnel-wise.
Interesting exchange. First the steal, then Pippen missed on the drive. It will be Chicago ball with the new 24.
Well, what Coach Phil Jackson was talking about, they have Charles Barkley as their best post-up man, being only 6'4". Then you have 2 or 3 guys who can shoot three-pointers, Danny Ainge and Marley. Then you got a team that want to run and gun and just get down the court. There's a travel there on Dan Marley. But you must play the personnel, know the personnel, and play them for their strength, not play the team, but you have to play the personnel.
It is kind of a hybrid, unusual setup, and it can lead to all kinds of different type matchups. Bill Cartwright with his second field goal.
Let's face it, most teams play defense the best when they play against situations they know, predictable situations. Phoenix is unpredictable.
Bulls with an 8-point lead halfway through this opening quarter. Cartwright setting the screen for Pippen. Rebounded by Barkley. Crowd a little impatient as the Suns are off to the slow start. Barkley goes all the way.
Well, there's not a whole lot you can do there, Matt. He just ran over the top of Grant. He was in perfect position, but Charles just moved him out of the way.
Well, it's tough when he gets a head of steam going because he's unstoppable at that situation when he got a head of steam going.
After the good start, Bulls have missed 5 of the last 6 from the field. Michael Jordan, 1 of 2. Bulls by 6. Kevin Johnson running for Bill Cartwright, who was switching off. Johnson off the recovery, trying to set it up. Johnson gets back to it. Shot clock down to 6. It's Cartwright guarding Johnson, and he fires for 3. Rebound Barkley. Rebound Miller comes to Barkley. Oh, he is way off.
That's correct me if I'm wrong, but you're seeing all this nervous energy taking place out here by both teams. That's why you're having a game looks a little raggedy right now.
But a game 1 in any 7-game series is always going to be like this. It's going to be a low-scoring game because both teams are nervous. Both teams are trying to feel each other out.
Pippen. Scottie Pippen going glass for his second field goal. And I would think a low-scoring game, if that is the way it does turn out, would certainly be in favor of the Chicago Bulls, who are defensive-oriented as opposed to the run-and-gun style of the Phoenix Suns.
And Marv, you can see that already because they have extended their half-court defense way out. That being the Chicago Bulls.
During the course of the regular season, Chicago held 43 opponents under 100 points, while Phoenix only did it 16 times.
And now both clubs having their difficulties. We come up on 4 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Kevin Johnson with a brilliant move. He went the distance, beating 4 Bulls off the dribble.
First rule of defense, you must stop the basketball. Guard's not supposed to go from one end line to the other and score a basket on you.
Timeout taken by Chicago. The Bulls now lead by 6.
Well, here's one of the best point guards in action, going coast to coast, taking it up with the left hand. Beautiful move.
Yes, it has been a splendid MVP season for that man, Charles Barkley. There has been much pressure on Charles. Some rocky times during the course of the playoffs, but he has made it to the NBA Finals. Yesterday after practice, we asked Charles, did he feel more of a responsibility to take the Suns to the final?
It's been such a difficult year for me, stress-wise or pressure, whatever you want to call it, because the day they made the trade from Philadelphia, if we did not get to the finals, it would have been considered a total flop in most basketball circles, considering what they gave up to get me and what people expected from us, the city of Phoenix, the Suns as a team, and basketball in general. They expected us to get to the finals. And it's just, I was kind of just relieved more than anything else that I had handled the pressure so well.
Well, the man can hold his head up because he has met the challenges. He has done exactly what he said he was going to do to this point, get Phoenix into the finals, have a chance to win a championship. And in fact, of the 17 shot attempts now by Phoenix, Charles Barkley has taken 8 of those. He's only 1 for 5 from the perimeter, 2 for 3 from down inside.
And here's Jordan following that Richard Dumas field goal, his first. Cartwright with the steal and the bucket. And that is a most unusual sequence.
Well, you don't expect Bill Cartwright to come up with a steal, and Mark West got to watch those outlet passes.
Richard Dumas. Dumas with his second field goal, now getting into the flow. The Bulls 24, Suns 18. Pippen off the screen, yes, and the shooting is picked up at both ends. Pippen is now 4 of 6. He has 8 points. The Bulls lead by 8 with 2 minutes 35 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Marley played by Jordan. Phoenix now 9 of 18 from the field. Chicago 12 of 20. Shot clock at 5. Marley off the dribble. Jordan knocked it away, and a reach-in foul has been called on Michael Jordan.
This isn't what you would normally anticipate, that once the rebound's secured, a big center is going to hang around. But Chicago tries to jam the rebounders to slow down the fast break, and by Bill having his hands out there, he knocks it free, gets an easy score, and Coach Paul leans back in the chair and says, I can't believe that just happened.
Paul Westphal in his first season leading the Suns to their best record in franchise history, best record in the NBA. Won the Pacific 62-20. There's Tom Chambers, one of the heroes of the victory in game number 7. He got the starting nod instead of Richard Dumas and played very well. Bill Cartwright sits down. He's been a big factor here in the first quarter. Scott Williams has replaced Cartwright.
And see, here's this unorthodox style of the Phoenix Suns that Phil Jackson was talking about. Who do you match up defensively against Tom Chambers?
Chambers goes 6'10", 230 pounds. Armstrong. Pippen gets to it. Setting up Armstrong. Beautiful play by Scottie Pippen.
2 minutes.
Just under 2 minutes remaining. First quarter. The Bulls 28. The Suns 20. Chambers has the excellent touch. Kept alive by Marley. Dumas now played by Williams. Goes to the finger roll. Swept aside by Scott Williams.
One thing that kind of jumps out at you here early as Michael hits Grant on that transition, fill in the right lane, score for Horace Grant. One of the things that jumps out at you, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, neither player has gone to the free throw line yet to pick up any points at the foul line.
Biggest lead of the game, Chicago by 10. Barkley isolated against Grant. Here's Charles Barkley. The tip missed, and then rebounded by Scott Williams. Barkley is now 3 for 9. Just under 1 minute remaining in this first quarter. Michael Jordan with only 2 points. Has not had the shot opportunities, but Michael has compiled 3 assists. Shot clock at 5. Now Grant over Chambers. And it looked like Chambers got a piece of it. Horace Grant off to a fast start. Began the series against the Knicks bothered by a sprained ankle. And when it healed, he came on. He was an important man as the Bulls knocked off the Knicks in 6. Chambers. Marley gets the new 24. 3-point attempt. The Bulls had the numbers momentarily, but the Suns able to hustle back. Phil Jackson says hold for a final shot. 15 seconds to go in the quarter.
What you see Phoenix do is trap immediately. They want to hope that Chicago takes an early shot, and maybe they'll get one back at the other end.
It's Jordan, final seconds, getting it off. Yes, 0.3 of a second remaining in the quarter. Chicago leads by 14. Strong start by the Bulls. The Suns looking shaky here in the early going. Michael Jordan, 2 out of 5, 4 points. And Charles Barkley, only 3 of 9 to start things off. So after 1 in Game 1 of the NBA Finals Series, Chicago 34 and Phoenix 20. We'll be back right after these messages.
Rashad back in Phoenix now. While the Bulls are trying to make history by performing a three-peat, here's a man who has made some history. He was the first coach of the Chicago Bulls back in 1967, and then in 1969, he was the first coach of the Phoenix Suns. He is Johnny Red Kerr. Johnny, a lot has changed since those years when you were the coach.
Absolutely, a lot has changed. I've only been fired once from Phoenix and twice from the Bulls.
Yeah, but you had to do everything when you're coaching those days.
Absolutely, had to do a little bit everything to start up these 2 teams. I didn't have an assistant coach with either one of them. They both come a long, long way, and it's great to see the progress they made as expansion team.
And you can probably feel proud because you started the whole thing.
Well, I feel extremely proud, but I got to go for the Bulls tonight.
Thanks for joining me, Johnny. All right, Marv.
Thanks a lot, Johnny Kerr, television analyst now for the Chicago Bulls. Second quarter is underway. Michael Jordan able to penetrate, could not complete it. And Marley gets to it for the Suns. Chicago finished the first quarter hitting their last 4. The Suns missed the last 6. And they have now missed their last 7 shots. That's a traveling violation on Chambers.
In the timeout between quarters, Coach Paul Westphal very animated with his team. Point of emphasis, get the Bulls off the block. They're in there down too low, getting inside scores.
Not only was he upset about that, but he was also upset that different guys are not taking their shot. They're taking somebody else's shot. They're not playing their game right now.
Scott Williams diving for it, and he's tied up and is upset. He thought he was fouled.
I think he thought he had called a timeout first. He was trying to call for a quick timeout before he got tied up. Here's the extra effort with Grant sneaking in from behind. Williams goes to the floor, thinks he's going to be tied up. He's trying to signal timeout, but gets smothered right there. The official calls jump ball.
Substitutions by both teams. Otto Miller is back. Oliver Miller is back. Danny Ainge has come on, as has John Paxson and Trent Tucker. Frank Johnson also checking in for the first time. A minute gone by in the second quarter. Suns and Bulls now battling for position for the tip. It's controlled by Chicago.
And Phil Jackson goes with his small group, the 3-guard offense. Michael Jordan pulls up, hits a jumper, and this will be a good unit to use throughout the series against Phoenix because Paul Westphal likes to go to unusual lineups, small lineups at times.
6 points for Jordan and the Bulls with a 16-point lead. Frank Johnson with a nice move. He's played well during the playoffs. Here's some pressure momentarily. And then the Suns drop back. Frank Johnson, 34 years old, played the last 3 years in Italy after spending 7 years with the Washington Bullets. And it's a travel on Scott Williams.
Michael Jordan gets Marley off balance. You can see him rock back on his heels, just gets enough space to elevate and get a good look at the rim.
And look for Michael to be doing a lot of shooting in this quarter because with Scottie Pippen out, they're going to look for him to take over the offense.
Kevin Johnson, who just returned, was fouled by John Paxson. John Paxson gave the Bulls a lift off the bench in the series against the Knicks. Had a couple of productive games, including the final game of Chicago last Friday. Johnson being guarded by Paxson. Again, Barkley backing Grant. Hook to the left hand, and Grant got some help.
Okay, this is an interesting situation here. What they're going to try to do is take the middle away from Charles Barkley and turn him to the baseline, where then the Bulls are getting help. And this is what happened right here. Scott Williams comes and blocks the shot.
So Barkley, 3 of 10. He's missed his last 4 attempts.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by the people at Nike, who encourage you to just do it. By Pepsi, who reminds you to be young, have fun, drink Pepsi. And by Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles.
Welcome back to America West Arena. Hannah Storm, along with Suns forward Cedric Ceballos, who had foot surgery on Saturday, should be ready for next season. But Cedric, I think they could use you now. You were instrumental in that win March 30th against Chicago and held Scottie Pippen to just 8 of 19 shooting. What kind of job is your team doing on him now?
Well, I think need to make Scottie play a little bit more defense. He's not working as hard, and Bulls are getting easy buckets. You take away the easy buckets, make them work a little harder on the defensive end, the score will be a little bit different.
You were so instrumental in getting your team to this point. How tough is it to sit here and watch, especially with them down early?
It's tough. It's like getting all your good grades and be able to go to the prom and sit and watch everybody else dance. It's tough, but hopefully my career is young and I'll be able to get in one of these again.
Thanks, Cedric. Good luck with your rehab. Marv?
All right, Hannah, once again, Charles Barkley coming up short. Charles has had his ups and downs during the playoffs. Had a difficult time against the Lakers. Came back with some solid games as Phoenix was able to win that series 3 games to 2. Up and down against San Antonio. The same against Seattle. He finished strong against Seattle in game number 7 on Saturday. Career high 44 points. A playoff career high for Charles, along with 24 rebounds. But he struggled here at the start. Again, Barkley. He has missed his last 6 shots. He's 3 for 12.
Well, at least he's trying to go down inside, trying to draw some fouls, get to the free throw line. But Grant is a very active player. He waits to the last moment. He will body up with Charles and then gets that arm extended and challenges.
Well, he's got him falling away from the basket. He can't turn into the basket to shoot the basketball.
Ollie called for that hacking foul. Doubled up on Jordan. Illegal defense called for the first time. For those who may have just joined us, as Bob Costas mentioned right at the start, Michael Jordan has broken the vow of silence. And at halftime, we will hear a conversation that he had with Ahmad Rashad. That's the first interview since he stopped talking. I know if I were breaking a vow of silence, the first person I would want to talk to, I speak for myself here, is Ahmad, without question.
I want to ask Magic a question. Magic, the 7-game series against Seattle, couldn't it have taken a little bit of wind out of the sails of the Suns, where they're not coming out here strong here in the first half?
Oh yeah, because you know what happened in that Seattle series? Seattle made them work really hard for every bucket. They pressured them, they trapped them a lot, so it could affect them in this game right now.
8:45 remaining in the first half. A backdoor pass handled by Scott Williams. And the Bulls executing beautifully. Now lead at 38-22.
Well, they're doing an excellent job of just executing their half-court offense, getting the ball to the open man and scoring.
Chicago now 18 for 29. That's 62% from the field. Ainge guarded by Tucker. Trent did not go for the head fake. Ainge to the fadeaway. Danny Ainge, the man who faced the Chicago Bulls in the finals last year as a member of the Portland Trail Blazers. Jordan from deep, yes. Michael Jordan has 8 points. The Bulls by 16. Evan Johnson facing the double team. Dan Marley will not count. The foul. It's on Miller.
Watch the attention that Michael Jordan will draw when he comes out. This defensive player and the one back here will wind up on Michael as he comes up. Here's the key guy under the basket who winds up all by himself for a backdoor layup. Jordan comes out on the pin down. Two players chase him outside. The pass over the top for the backdoor score. Nice and easy when Michael draws all that attention.
On the Bulls defensive end, Michael Jordan has been doing an excellent job on Dan Marley, not letting him catch that basketball and pressuring him all the way out to the three-point line.
Well, you can tell the message got across about challenging the three-point line. Every time Phoenix catches it out there, Chicago runs at him, makes him put it on the floor, chases him inside the line.
Strong move by Williams. Crowd wanted a foul. They thought he made contact with Miller. Dumas gets down court. Well, he eluded Paxson, but he could not get on the drive. Paxson for three. Grant with the rebound, but a loose ball foul is called. It's against the Bulls.
You know what the problem is for Phoenix right now? They're not getting any transition baskets. Everything has come on the half-court end, and they're not a great half-court team unless Charles Barkley is getting double-teamed, and the Bulls are not double-teaming Charles Barkley.
And the reason is simple. Chicago is not only an excellent half-court defensive team, but they are one of the best in transition defense. Their athletes are able to get back, stop the basketball, and pick up the open people.
Horace Grant committed the last foul, sitting down. Stacey King has come on for the first time. That was rebound number 7 for Scott Williams. Just under 7 minutes remaining in this first half. Pippen, yes. And the Bulls open up an 18-point lead.
You know, Chicago players have to be saying to themselves right now, this is too easy. They didn't get open shots against New York like this.
And I think Paul Westphal has the same thought on his mind. Back in Phoenix, the Bulls try to become only the 3rd team in NBA history to pull off a three-peat. It's been a very tough season for three-peat attempts. The Duke Blue Devils not able to do it. Pittsburgh Penguins of the National Hockey League also knocked off. Jim Courier looking for 3 in a row in the French Open. And Michael Jordan and his Bulls try to win 3 in a row. No team has won 3 consecutive titles in 26 years. Only the Minneapolis Lakers and the Boston Celtics have won 3 straight championships. The 2 most recent teams to attempt pulling it off, the 1989 Los Angeles Lakers, the 1991 Detroit Pistons, both fell short, as Dumas and Miller just did.
You know, coming into the series, everyone said you have 2 finesse teams in the finals. Well, something that shows up right away, there have only been 4 free throw attempts after a quarter and a half of this basketball game, which means either you don't have people hitting each other out there aren't a lot of drives to the basket, there's a lot of jump shots, or people are scoring too easy, no one's contesting them.
What a sensational first half effort by Scott Williams. 4 points and 8 rebounds for Williams. Johnson with the force, but it's punched home by Dumas. That's his 3rd field goal.
Bob, that was the first easy basket that Phoenix has gotten in this first half.
The end result, Chicago with an 18-point lead. Make it 20. Scottie Pippen, who had the sensational series against the Knicks, with 12 points here tonight on 6 of 8 from the field. The Bulls 46 and the Suns 26. Barkley. And the first easy attempt for Barkley.
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you why that happened, because you have kind of a mixed group on the floor for Chicago, and defensively they weren't quite sure who was going to rotate where. Phoenix caught him that time with some nice interior passing.
Dumas with the steal. Here's Ainge for Johnson. Oh. And put home by Dumas. And the crowd getting back into it. Phoenix now trailing by 16.
When they get into it because they got some transition baskets. That was a transition basket, and they hadn't gotten one.
Tucker setting up King. Stacey King had it knocked away. Here comes Barkley with the crossover. Barkley going all the way, trying to draw the foul, but had it knocked away. He thought he was fouled, but does not get the call.
They're trying to get easy scores. Well, you can start it with good defense. As Magic said, they haven't had many easy ones. The miss, Pippen gets a little frustrated because he tries to get the block from behind. Nobody checks off Dumas, who follows up the shot for two. Barkley trying to dribble through three defenders, feels he got fouled. Instead, a deflection was called. Phoenix will get the ball back.
Dumas passed up on that first opportunity. Michael Jordan has returned. The Bulls with the ball and a 16-point lead. King lost it. Kevin Johnson accelerating and had it knocked away. It'll be Phoenix ball. Horace Grant returns, replacing Scott Williams.
KJ trying to get to the hole, sees a lot of red shirts step up, something that was very familiar in the New York against Chicago series. Maybe something he didn't see as much against Seattle, the lane closing down that quickly.
Cartwright is back. Stacey King departing. 4 minutes to go in this first half. Barkley with that pass off the dribble that misfired. Here's Jordan. He had it knocked away from behind. Kevin Johnson. Barkley for Miller. Phoenix showing some signs. They are now down by 14.
How long do you let this thing go before you take a timeout and try and stop this thing?
6-0 run by the Suns. Armstrong hit from behind. Miller got a piece of the ball and a piece of B.J. Armstrong.
Once again, get the crowd into the game. It helps the team raise its level. Barkley that time draws the defense. Cartwright, and then the unselfish play to the rookie, Oliver Miller.
But the only way they can get the crowd going and into it if they continue to stay in their transition game. That's when Phoenix is at their best.
Patrick, I asked you at the start of the telecast about the friendship between Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley, how that will play into this series. You made reference to your friendship with Isaiah Thomas and Laker teammates wondering if you would be able to give the hard foul. Well, Charles says, hey, we're going to play golf, we're going to have dinner. We're talking about plans that he and Michael have during the NBA Finals. Is that possible? Can that work? Is that a bad thing? Can that have an effect? I give you 5 questions, though.
It can't work because you have to have sort of like a dislike for your opponent, no matter if he's your friend or not, going into the series. So if they go out to dinner and continue to go play golf, it's going to work more in Michael Jordan's favor than in Charles Barkley and the Phoenix Suns.
In effect, it softens up Barkley.
Exactly, it softens him up, and he doesn't have a dislike for not only Michael Jordan, but for the Chicago Bulls.
Well, that point was made by some people in the Knicks organization. They felt that Charles Oakley, although he played well, did not play with the same type of ferocity against the Bulls because of his friendship with Michael Jordan. Not that they want to see Oakley hurt people, but they felt he would not give Jordan a hard foul that last series.
Exactly, and you must do that, and especially you must do it for your teammates, not just for yourself, but for your teammates.
Illegal defense has been called. Called on the Bulls. That is their first violation. 3:08 to go in this first half. The Bulls 48 and the Suns 32. Johnson and Marley at the guards. Barkley up front with Miller and Dumas. Here's Johnson. He got the step. Oh, swept by Pippen. The call by Pierce Kersey, he steps out of bounds, so Phoenix will maintain possession. But first, a timeout is called with 2:57 remaining in this first half. There's Pippen trying to save it. To just Kersey.
Coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, Michael Jordan will break his silence. We'll bring you Ahmad Rashad's pregame interview with Michael as he addresses his reasons for not talking to the media the last 2 weeks and responds to the gambling charges made by Richard Esquinas. That's coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report. Right now, let's return courtside to Marv, Mike, and Magic.
Thank you, Bob. Bulls at 1 point, led by as many as 20. They now lead by 16 with 2:57 to go first half. A reminder, this Friday, don't miss NBA Stories, a primetime special taking an in-depth behind-the-scenes look at some of this year's top stories around the league. You'll see the Phoenix Suns as they've never been seen before on the plane, in the huddle, and at the hotel as NBA Stories documents their trip to the finals. Also a close-up look at future Chicago Bull Tony Kukoc. Illegal defense call for the second time, so that is a technical foul. Incidentally, NBA Stories to be followed by Game 2 of the NBA Final between Phoenix and Chicago. That'll be Friday night here on NBC. Kevin Johnson will shoot the technical. Kevin Johnson making his first appearance at the foul line.
This may be the biggest play of the series, setting the screen, letting Kevin Johnson try and get into the lane, and Chicago has to decide who's going to come over, make the rotation without getting called for an illegal defense. Is particularly tough when Barkley is setting the screen. In fact, that was the big play at the end of the game in Chicago that KJ scored off of to win that game against the Chicago Bulls. Same exact play.
Oh, Dumas connecting with the floater. Richard Dumas, after the slow start, has come on. He's 5 for 10. He has 10 points. He's the high man for the Suns, who now trail by 13. Off the weave, Pippen. Being played now on a switch by Barkley. Shot clock at 5. Jordan changed his mind. Here's Grant. The tip missed by the combination of Pippen and Cartwright. Barkley with Pippen from behind, going for the steal, finding Miller. So the Suns have cut it down to 48-37.
That's when Charles Barkley is at his best. When he can grab the defensive rebound and bring it coast to coast, good things usually happen for the Phoenix Suns.
Phoenix with an 11-2 run to cut into that sizable Chicago lead.
Here's the young rookie who is so athletic. He has great lift in the legs, one-on-one against Scottie Pippen, who's an outstanding defender, but that lift at the end enables him to get over the outstretched arm. And then Charles knows exactly where his teammate is. Oliver Miller leads the break, lets the big man run ahead of him, finds him for the finish.
Richard Dumas with 10 points. Charles Barkley has 8. They're the high man for the Suns. Chicago being sparked by Scottie Pippen, who has 12. Horace Grant with 11. Michael Jordan has 8 points. And this crowd very much back into it, but Scottie Pippen able to quiet them down. Pippen now with 14, 7 of 9 from the field.
On that last play, Michael Jordan was wide open for a backdoor layup because Dumas was overplaying him so hard. They hit the flash post, man. He just didn't deliver the pass on time.
Dumas. Pippen off the board. Bulls want to run. Pippen trying to feed out. 4-on-2. Dumas. Chicago 50 and Phoenix 39.
There's a big 4-point swing. 2 you think you're going to get because you outnumber the defense 4 against 2. You don't get it, they go down and score against you.
Pippen with the room. Miller on the rebound. And the Suns will reset it. Shot clock down to 10. Johnson got the step. And it counts. It's a goaltend.
Sometimes you'll try and get a block shot any way possible. You get it from behind, you get it from the front, and then you even try and stick your hand through the bottom of the net like Chicago did that time, but it doesn't count that way.
But Chicago is not getting the same shots on offense that they were getting earlier in this game.
Phoenix have moved within 9. They were down by 20. Here's Jordan extending. Michael Jordan driving the lane. And he's given the Bulls a 52-41 advantage.
If you're going to let a player like Marley get up and bump and hold him and elbow, then you've got to let Michael Jordan make his spin move. There's no way to stop him there.
Final seconds of the half. Miller rejected from behind by Cartwright. Pippen gets it off. So that's the end of the first half. The Bulls led by as many as 20. Phoenix now down by 11 at halftime.
Marley gets up so close that Michael has no choice but to put it on the floor, take it to the basket, and the fact that they didn't close down in time allows them to get to the front of the rim.
So Michael Jordan with 10 points in the first half. Charles Barkley with 8. Scottie Pippen, high man, with 14. Bob Costas and the Prudential halftime report coming up.
This is the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Halftime of Game 1 in Phoenix with the Bulls once up by as many as 20, now leading by 11 on the road, 52-41. Now, prior to tonight's game here in Phoenix, a moment of silence was observed for Drazen Petrovic. The Nets star was killed on Monday evening in a car accident in Germany. Petrovic was a native of Croatia. He first played in the NBA in the 1989-90 season with the Trailblazers. He was known as one of the hardest working NBA players and one of the league's greatest outside shooters. He became a star after being traded to New Jersey in January of 1991. He was also a member of Croatia's silver medal winning Olympic team in Barcelona this past summer. And this last year in the NBA, he blossomed into one of the league's best shooting guards, averaging over 22 points per game.
I just got done shaking his hand a few weeks ago after our postseason physicals, and then you get a phone call saying that no more shakes from Draws. And I know a lot of times they say grown men aren't supposed to show their emotions, but it's very difficult for me to speak about it at this time.
To finally get to that point where he was showing everybody what he could do and the type of player he could be, and have his whole future ahead of him, and for him and his family and friends to have this happen, it's just it just seems almost cruel. He was such a terrific guy.
It was like a death in the family. Because I think one thing people don't understand, they think us guys in the NBA don't get along, which is absurd. We're very close. It's like a fraternity. And it's like somebody in my family passing away.
It's a shame that he has so much to give to so many people, and he won't be here to do it.
And when we come back, Michael Jordan's first interview in 2 weeks as he talks with Ahmad Rashad. That's after a message from Prudential and a word from the NBA. Welcome back to Phoenix with the Bulls up by 11 at halftime of Game 1. If you were with us at the top of the game, you know that Michael Jordan has broken his 2-week silence. About an hour and a half before the game began, he was willing to talk specifically to Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad asked him about the reasons for his prolonged silence.
I just felt that it was unfair that I was being considered a criminal for doing something that is not illegal. Gambling is legal. And betting is legal. For what I bet, yeah, it's a little bit more than I wanted to lose. I mean, I didn't bet to lose, but I lost it and I paid off all my debts. I didn't want to go to NBC or anyone else and let them know, hey, I lost $500,000. I'm going to pay it this, I'm going to pay it that way. I felt I was taking care of what my responsibilities were, and I lost. My family's not starving. My wife, if I had a problem, would have left me, or certainly would have came to me and said, hey, seek help. My family, my mother and father, who we're close-knit people, and they have monitored me from when I was a kid, when I was born, up until where I am now. And if I ever had a problem, they never had a problem telling me that I had a problem. So they never came to me and said, hey, Michael, you got a gambling problem. Or my wife never said, and she's chief of finances in my household. She knows what comes in and what leaves. And she never said, Michael, hey, you got a problem. I think that's something that the media has taken it far greater than what it is. Soon, whenever I walk away from this game, I think that's the only thing that people are going to say was a bad thing about Michael Jordan. No, I didn't commit a crime, but he gambled. And if that's the least that I could be considered or have on my repertoire or my resume, that, hey, I'm a competitor and I gambled, let's say $500,000, and yet I'm still living. I'm not broke. Financially, I still think I'm set. I don't have to work. And I choose to do whatever I choose to do once I leave the game of basketball, then I'm happy.
I think the thing that really staggered the public was the fact of the amounts. All of a sudden, it's reported that you lost over $1 million playing on golf bets.
$1 million, I guess I would be sick if I lost $1.2 million, and he would be sick if he reduced $1.2 million to except $300,000. So yeah, he must be sick if that's the case. But I think that he exaggerated to a point, and I've come up with my own conclusion of why the exaggeration was to 1.2 or whatever, was that
it sells books.
It sells books. Plus, for a guy who makes over $1 million, to lose $300,000 is easily acceptable from the public. But to say he lost 1.2, then the public's gonna look at it and say, oh, God, that's a lot of money. That's a 1.2. Maybe he does have a problem. But I think that was one of the reasons that the numbers were thrown up there. But either way, I felt I was betrayed by this individual. He considered himself a friend. I don't consider him a friend because friends don't do that to other friends. And let's say if I did have a problem, if he was such a friend, he would come to me and say, hey, Michael, I think you got a problem. I'm doing this book, blah, blah, blah. Go seek help. No, here come my doctor. Go see this doctor. Go see my doctor. Maybe he can help you. And I never got that call.
Do you feel like you have to really close yourself off from people or ask to see a resume before you go out and play golf with people?
I don't want to. I don't think I should. I think you learn from the perception of people that you deal with, how to judge people. I think how to judge people. I'm never really going to know because I can't get inside of your head or the next person's head. But I have to be very perceptive of what this person his main objective is in terms of trying to be my friend or trying to get close to me because of other circumstances. I think I must put up a bigger or tougher screen for other people to get closer to me.
For the public, do you have a gambling problem?
No, I enjoy it. It's a hobby. If I had a problem, I'd be starving. I'd be hawking this watch. My championship rings, I would sell my house. I would do this. My wife had left me, or she'd be starving, or my kids would be starving. I do not have a problem. I enjoy gambling, but I think that people are trying to make it seem like I have a problem because they don't really know. And when you have an area that you don't really know about, you're going to have people, taking it further or speculating even further until I come out and basically give my own opinion about it.
You mentioned your age, and you mentioned earlier in the interview that it's going to be over with soon. You seem more charged up for this particular series than you have the last 3 years.
Well, I felt I had a lot of things on my mind, and this is one of the reasons that I wanted to talk to you and get some of the things off my chest so I can enjoy this history that we're about to make and winning a third championship. And I did say soon. No one knows when soon is. Soon could be next year. Soon could be 2 years, But
could soon be after this year?
Could be, but I will not quit this game because of what the media has done to me or what other people have done to me. I will quit this game because my skills are diminished. I can't find the challenges to keep pushing myself. My love is always going to be there. But my pride won't let me leave because someone else is going to push me out. I'm going to leave on my own terms. And I don't think too many athletes have that opportunity to do. And that's what I want to do whenever it comes my time.
Want to bet?
No.
All right, Jordan with 10 points on 5 of 9 from the field in the first half. Scottie Pippen leads everybody with 14. He's hit 7 of 10. Barkley sputtering in the first 24 minutes, 4 of 13 from the field, 8 points for the Suns, who trail the Bulls by 11. We'll turn things over to Marv, Mike, and Magic for the call of the second half, right after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
It is a beautiful day in the Valley of the Sun. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Magic Johnson. It is an 11-point Chicago lead at halftime, and Magic, you hit on it right at the start. You said that you thought the Suns looked a little tight in that first quarter.
Well, and it showed, too. They only shot 39%, and most of the shots were jump shots, and that shows the signs of nervousness.
Phoenix did certainly get the shots off. You look at the stat sheet, Mike, 48 field goal attempts. There were 19 for 48.
And 48 is particularly good against this Bulls team because in 11 playoff games, Bulls opponents have only had an average of 74 shots for an entire game. Here, Phoenix has 48 already in the first half. They're getting them, but they're getting them quickly because only 3 of those 48 have come under 5 seconds left on the 24-second clock, so they're hurried shots.
And a look at today's Miller Genuine Draft halftime statistics. Chicago at 60% shooting, 24 out of 40, and Phoenix, as you see, 19 for 48. Pippen had the hot hand, 7 of 10. And off the board, Chicago led by Scott Williams, 22 rebounds. Phoenix with 20. Strong first half for the rookie, Richard Dumas. Now let's go to Hannah Storm, who is alongside Phoenix coach Paul Westphal.
Coach, your team is down by 11 points, but you are at home. You're only shooting 40%. How do your guys get in position to win this game?
Well, that certainly wasn't our best half of basketball of the year. We're letting them shoot 60%. Our defense isn't aggressive enough. Our offense isn't aggressive enough. And we feel we're pretty fortunate to only be down 11 the way we're playing. We just have to come out and force the action a little bit more than we have been and try to get back in this game.
In other words, you guys are reacting to the Bulls instead of playing your game.
Well, I just think we're conceding too many easy shots for them, and we're working too hard to get into our offense.
Okay, look for a more aggressive Phoenix team in the second half, Marv.
All right, Hannah, you look back to the 2 regular season games between these two teams. Phoenix scored 62 and 65 points in the first half of those games. Only 41 here at halftime. Chicago led by as many as 20. The Suns with a 15-6 run to end the half. 41 points, the lowest scoring first half of the playoffs for Phoenix. As you check out the leading scorers, Scottie Pippen at 14, Horace Grant 11, Michael Jordan with 10, Richard Dumas, the only Sun in double figures with 12, Charles Barkley in 24 minutes, 4 of 13, only 8 points. Jordan and Armstrong at the guards, Cartwright, Pippen, and Grant up front as we get started in the third quarter. Shot clock down at 3, and Pippen has to fling it. So the ball goes back to Phoenix.
One of the weapons that have been missing so far in the first half, the three-point shot. During the playoffs, Phoenix has averaged 12 shots a game from the three-point line and made 4 of them. Tonight, 0 for 3. During the regular season, Phoenix is the 3rd best three-point shooting team in the NBA. They're first in three-pointers attempted, almost 13 and a half a game, and first in three-pointers made. So that's a big weapon that's missing. That's why they only have 41 points right now.
And here's Barkley again. Bulls lead 52-43. The Suns hit 398 three-point field goals during the regular season. An NBA record foul called on Barkley. That is his first. Rundown here, Dan Marley. During the playoffs, 37 for 98, turning it after the slow start. Danny Ainge, 25 for 68. Ainge did not shoot well at all during the series against Seattle at 36% for that series. Here's a three-point attempt by Armstrong. And back come the Suns. Emmett Johnson being played by Scottie Pippen on a switch. They isolate for Barkley. Grant going for the steal. Foul called. Counts. The basket counts, and the foul charged to Horace Grant.
If you want to know, and if you're a Phoenix Suns fan, why the Phoenix Suns are still in this game is because of 10 offensive rebounds. Now, remember, the Chicago Bulls are not double-teaming Charles Barkley, so you can see what happens when you don't double-team him. Horace Grant has been doing an excellent job up until then on that shot there.
Barkley, a 76% free throw shooter during the regular season, his best ever in the league, and he was way off on that attempt.
Barkley has 16 shot attempts, Magic, already in this basketball game. That's a lot of shots.
Phoenix has moved within 7 off a 19-6 run to get back into it. Cartwright operating against West. Grant had it knocked away. It'll be Chicago ball with only 1 remaining. 1 second left on the 24. Pippen will inbound. Jordan. Grant with the rebound. Armstrong, yes. B.J. Armstrong with 9 points.
Paul Westphal is going crazy. He tried to get the inbound, the man who was inbound to pass a double team, Michael Jordan, and the man did not do that. Then Michael Jordan comes down on this end and causes Dan Marley to travel. But Paul Westphal is just going crazy because Michael Jordan was able to get that ball and they scored because of that.
Jordan got off a pretty good shot under the desperate conditions, and then it led to the offensive rebound and to the score by B.J. Armstrong. Bulls lead by 9. Armstrong for 3. So B.J. Armstrong with his second from downtown. The Bulls have a 12-point lead.
The weapon that Phoenix used so often during the season and the playoffs, coming back at him now. 3-pointer by Chicago.
Barkley backing in. Rebounded by Dumas. Marley. Well, Dan Marley had been quiet. That is only his second field goal. The Bulls 57, the Suns 47. Pippen with a nice fake, and then met on the switch by West. Barkley behind the back. Barkley for Marley to the reverse. Beautiful setup. Charles Barkley for Dan Marley. The Bulls now lead by 8, and Phil Jackson called for time.
Charles, one of the players that has the ability to rebound, dribble out, start a fast break, and then either finish himself or make the correct decision by finding the open teammate.
Remember, Phoenix Suns are at their best when Charles Barkley rebounds the basketball and takes it coast to coast like he just did then.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Oldsmobile, by Keystone, Keystone Light and Keystone Dry. Bottled beer taste in a can. Wouldn't that be great? And by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
Well, Charles Barkley with a nice setup for Dan Marley just a moment ago. Barkley, though, only 6 for 17, 12 points, but he's helped the Suns get back into it. Charles has certainly been in a swirl of intrigue regarding speculation recently that he dated Madonna. He reportedly was seen with Madonna after a game 2 weeks ago. Charles said the rumors are not true. We talked about it with him yesterday after practice, and his reaction.
I think that the whole Madonna thing has been a travesty to me, to my family, to my in-laws. It's just crazy. I've only met her one time in my life. That is it. And people said we were out dancing and stuff like that, which is totally untrue. I've never denied meeting her, and she seemed very nice and friendly. But to make us out to be a couple and to harass my family and call all my friends and call my in-laws, National Enquirer, Inside Edition, hard copy, it's crazy and it's ridiculous.
Well, Charles said he wanted to put all the rumors to rest. Foul was called on Marley. 8.5 to go in this third quarter. Michael Jordan is now 5 for 11 from the field.
Well, it's just something that the two superstars seem to have had to deal with at just about the same time as they're making their way into the finals. Michael has his share of controversy, Charles dealing with his share. I'm sure they understand what the other is going through.
Dumas, Richard Dumas, who was benched for the entire 7th game against Seattle, has come back in very solid fashion. He has 14 points on 7 of 13, and he's done the job off the board. The Bulls clinging now to a 6-point lead. Jordan for 3. There's Dumas. Dumas gets back to it. The Bulls 57. The Suns 53.
How many times have we seen that tonight where the Bulls play good defense, but then Phoenix always ends up with the offensive rebound. That's 11 for them offensive rebounds.
Scottie Pippen continues to show the touch. 8 of 11 from the field. Much concern coming into tonight's game about the Dumas-Pippen matchup, but Richard Dumas has been able to hang in. He's had a hot hand. Now Barkley goes to work against Grant, facing a double team. And Grant with the rebound. A foul on Barkley. He was down on the floor, and he stopped the fast break, and he's hit with a second.
If there was any concern about the rookie Richard Dumas being a little gun shy, think about this. Charles Barkley, the MVP of the league, has 18 shot attempts. Dumas, after missing the first one, never loses a stroke of confidence. He's already taken 15 shots in this game and made 8.
Well, Richard Dumas must take more shots because first, Cesar Tobias is injured. Second, Tom Chambers is not playing well. So Dumas has to take more shots, and that's what he's doing.
Chambers played only 3 minutes in the first half. Basket won't count. Foul before the shot called on Dumas.
So one way to slow down a guy who's hot, maybe go right back at him, make him work at the defensive end. Scottie Pippen's the guy who can do it. Dumas called for the reach-in foul before the basket.
Richard Dumas, a second-round draft pick last year. He had drug problems, went through a drug treatment program. Played for Oklahoma City in the CBA, averaged 28 points there. Also played for John Lucas's Miami Tropics team in the USBL last summer. Cartwright, Bill Cartwright on target. He's 4 out of 5. He has 8 points. The Bulls lead by 8. And what a terrific rookie year for Dumas, selected to the all-rookie second team. He averaged 15 a game during the regular season. Shot clock at 4. Dumas lost it, and Pippen feeds Jordan. Michael Jordan. 12 points for Jordan, and the Bulls have a 10-point lead.
That was an excellent job by Scottie Pippen by giving it up to Jordan. He actually set a screen on KJ, who was trying to chase him down from behind, gave Jordan a clear path to the basket.
Mark West with his second field goal. Chicago 63, and Phoenix 55. Cartwright keeps it alive. Jordan passed on the outside shot and went to the floater. Beautiful finish by Michael.
Oh, it's beautiful because he changed hands on it. He finished with his left hand. It was beautiful.
Michael now winds up guarding Kevin Johnson because Marley ran out as Michael drove to the basket. So B.J. Armstrong had to pick up Marley. Michael takes the ball.
Oh, what a pass from Dumas. He spotted West. Dumas for West. And it's back to an 8-point Chicago lead. We are just under 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Pippen. Yes. Scottie Pippen with 9 out of 13 for 18 points.
But see, Mark, the problem is that Richard Dumas is not touching Scottie Pippen. He got to get up and touch him. He's letting him just roam free and letting him just take the ball up and shoot it with no pressure.
Barkley under pressure went short. He thought he was fouled. And a loose ball foul is now called against the Suns.
The crowd doesn't like it. How can you call a foul on a loose ball? Well, let's go back a moment ago to Michael Jordan, who puts the ball on the floor. The ability to convert with either hand. Well, this time he decides he's going to use the left hand. Up on a little different look, winding his way down the lane. The concentration, even with the body contact of West, enables Michael to score.
And the foul by West put the Suns over the limit. So Jordan will go to the line. Michael to the line for the first time. Michael Jordan during the regular season had 2 excellent games against Phoenix. 16 for 27, 40 points. That was here in Phoenix back in November, in Chicago in March. Jordan 19 for 31 for 44 points. You know, after that first game back in November, Paul Westphal said, "We are not in their league," talking about the Bulls. Kevin Johnson said, "We played soft, just like in the past," but that was back in November. They split the 2 regular season games, each winning on the other team's home floor. Frank Johnson has returned. He's handling the ball against B.J. Armstrong. Illegal defense called, and Jess Kersey with a look at Phil Jackson, who apparently had something to say about it.
Right now, number 9, you know, some way Phoenix going to have to get some more guys involved in the offense. Charles Barkley and Dumas cannot carry the offense.
Want to see an illegal defense? The ball is over here. This man is guarding this player, but when he fades out of the screen, that defensive man never moves out of the lane. He gets caught guarding nothing but space. You got to either double team the ball. You just can't play the middle of the lane that way.
And a timeout taken here at the America West Arena in Phoenix. The Bulls lead by 10. To this point, it has not been a good shooting night for Charles Barkley. 6 for 19, but look at this breakdown.
Well, what happened in here is he's 1 for 7 jump shots, 5 for 12 inside. The reason that being is because he's shooting over a taller man in Horace Grant at 6'10". Charles Barkley is 6'4". He's giving him all kind of problems.
You get frustrated when you go inside and you can't get a shot to fall over a taller opponent. So what you tend to do is you try and step away, maybe get a face-up look, see if you can get your game going that way. It hasn't happened so far for Charles.
Here's Marley, who has been quiet again, not able to hit the 3. Barkley inside. And Grant pops it down. Good job by Pippen in the box out on Barkley, leading to Grant getting to that. Jordan with a crossover to set it up. And Barkley gets to it. His pass knocked away. Jordan with the save. And back come the Suns. Frank Johnson challenges and then changed his mind. Marley with the open 3. Yes! Well, Dan Marley, who set an NBA playoff record by hitting 8 in one game against Seattle, hits the first 3-pointer for Phoenix tonight. They're 1 for 5 from downtown. It has not been a weapon thus far. The Bulls lead by 7 as we come up on 3 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. Jordan off the fake, the pass behind Cartwright.
Well, what a crazy play for Dan Marley to finally knock a 3 down on him. I mean, you know, the save, the knock around, Frank Johnson get caught up in the air and then pass it back out, but he finally knocks it down. Let's see if he can capitalize on that being Dan Marley.
Bill Cartwright charged with his 3rd. Phoenix already over the limit for the Bulls. Only their 2nd team foul. Paul Westphal has Frank Johnson now at the point guard position. Johnson and Marley at the guards. Barkley, Miller, Dumas up front. Barkley drawing the double team, threw it out. Johnson went short. Johnson with the save. Now, wait a moment. Did he catch his own magic, his own shot?
You can't.
That's what they're discussing right now to see if Frank Johnson caught his own shot. So you can't do that. They said that B.J. Armstrong tipped it.
Well, if it was deflected by B.J. Armstrong, then you can go get it. But if it's an air ball by yourself, you cannot shoot an air ball and then go chase down your own shot and grab it.
And they call a foul on Pippen, who is discussing it with Hugh Hollins.
Well, see, the problem there was, Marv, that Bill Cartwright felt that Frank Johnson just shot the jump shot. He didn't go after it. Frank Johnson come running in and out-hustled him because he knew that if he could get to it, that he could throw it and save it. So it's a good move by Frank Johnson.
Danny Ainge replacing Richard Dumas, who hears it from the crowd as you get another look at that play. Miller has brought the Suns within 6. Now Ainge guarding Pippen. Marley switches off. Ainge now on Jordan. It is kicked out by Marley. And Chicago gets a new 24. The turnaround here in the third quarter by Phoenix has been sparked by their job off the offensive boards. And also by the shooting of Marley. 8 of his 12 have come here in the third. Cartwright followed up and fouled. Miller called for his third.
Oh, I don't know if it'll have an effect down the road, but Danny Ainge injured his right thumb in this last series as he came down the floor. A little bit of a collision right there. He's trying to see how much damage has been done as he grabs the basketball. And you'll see him go back and hold that thumb again. It's been bothering him since the collision took place when Jordan and Pippen played a little two-man game.
Bill Cartwright making his first appearance at the line. Bulls now lead by 7. Well, the National Hockey League season is now over. Your LA Kings Magic with a good run of the playoffs, knocked off by the Canadiens 4-1. Montreal takes the series 4-1. The Czar had it all figured out. He said that he thought the Canadiens would back check and forecheck right throughout. That was his explanation.
Well, I thought that good offensive rebound there by Michael Jordan. I thought that the series before the Canadian series took a lot out of the Kings, and that hurt them.
By Pippen off the steal, and Johnson gets it back. Frank Johnson with a gorgeous ball fake. What a play by the veteran Frank Johnson. The Bulls 71 and the Suns 64. Shot clock down to 7. Jordan had to save it. Grant rebounded by Barkley.
You finally see the Suns' body stepping up. It's a little more physical now.
Marley on the foul. Marley getting inside, and Phoenix has moved within 5.
That was another offensive rebound. Phoenix is in this game because of offensive rebounds.
We're coming up on 1 minute to go in the third. Pippen beating Ainge off the dribble, and a foul is called. Barkley over to help out, and he picks up his third.
Well, Michael Jordan, who has the ability to get that first step, get in the lane quickly, finds an easy way to get himself 2 points. But then the transition game for Phoenix is the key to their offense. Frankie Johnson finds a spot open, picks his spot to score an easy 2.
Scottie Pippen on the line for the first time. Only a 66% free throw shooter during the regular season. Now Kevin Johnson and Richard Dumas return. Charles Barkley will get a rest, and Frank Johnson sits down. Nice job by Frank Johnson.
When Frank comes in, he picks up the tempo even more so. You know, he's a crowd favorite, and he usually pushes the ball up at every opportunity and make good things happen for the Phoenix Suns.
Well, Pippen misses both. Kevin Johnson John Paxson and a blocking foul call on Paxson.
Looked to me like John Paxson did a pretty good job of moving his feet, staying in front of the basketball, and absorbing the blow by Kevin Johnson.
Looks like a
Paxson doesn't agree with it and reacts, and someone over on the Chicago bench did not agree with that call either.
Technical, though, was charged to Paxson, although the officials were looking in the direction of the assistant coaches, and Danny Ainge not able to hit on the tee.
Well, you know, he had that problem with his thumb, and maybe that bothered him, because usually Danny Ainge is over 80% free throw shooter, and he would knock them down. So I think it was his thumb.
Just under 1 minute remaining in the third. Kevin Johnson. Dumas puts it down. Richard Dumas skying to bring the Suns within 3.
You know, as bad as the Phoenix Suns are shooting, they are right in this game and have a chance to win this game.
Jordan misfired on the 3. Miller slapped the rebound, and he was knocked to the floor. Foul called on Chicago. It's on Pippen, his third.
You talk about live bodies. Well, KJ misses, but here's Richard Dumas flying in from the offside. 16 offensive rebounds for the Phoenix Suns.
But what caused that was the penetration of KJ. And then you come right back down on a foul right there. Oliver Miller had the ball and got hit.
And Miller will go to the line. Bulls lead by 3. They've led by as many as 20. They have led all the way. Magic, you mentioned the poor shooting by Phoenix. They are 44%, while Chicago at 56%. Yet the Suns able to get back into it here in the third.
Well, they're able to get back into two things happened. They picked up the tempo, got into the open court to their fast break game, and then also second shots. They've been killing Chicago all night with second shots, and that's been the difference.
And during the regular season, Chicago is the #1 offensive rebounding team in the NBA based on percentage, but they're shooting so well, there aren't that many misses for Chicago. Phoenix is getting shots up, going after the misses and putting them back in.
This game 1 of the best-of-7 NBA Final. Game 2 Friday night here in Phoenix, and then the scene shifts to Chicago for games 3 and 4 Sunday and Wednesday. All to be seen here on NBC. Here's Trent Tucker with the shot clock running down. Final seconds of the quarter. Pippen extends to 73-69. Dumas across midcourt. Here's Dumas challenging, went all the way as time runs out. Dan Majerle providing the spark. Majerle with 10 of his 14 points in the third quarter. As we head to the fourth, the Bulls 73, the Suns 69. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
A capacity crowd better than 19,000 on hand at the America West Arena in the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona. We're headed to the fourth. Chicago leading by 4.
If you're wondering whether Chicago's come upon some tough times and can't afford good uniforms, here's how that uniform got ripped. Frankie Johnson trying to fight his way through a screen, gets a piece of Scottie Pippen, but shortly thereafter, Johnson walks over and says, I didn't mean anything by that. Pippen says, okay, you're a good man, let's move on.
I don't like it, though. I didn't like the fact that Frank Johnson apologized to him. Forget about it, you did it, and hey, we're out here to win. And one thing Pat Riley taught the Lakers when I was playing with them, don't apologize, do it again if you have to do it again, because you're out here to win.
What is this we heard about those finesse Laker clubs, Magic? What is this?
No. You don't win championships being finesse. That's the Chicago Bulls. That's why they're the back-to-back champions.
Phoenix has 71 shots already in this basketball game. The Bulls have allowed just 74 a game in the playoffs by their opponents. So working those offensive boards, getting shots up in a hurry has paid off for Phoenix.
Loose ball foul was called. The Bulls thought it was against Phoenix. And for a moment, it appeared that Hugh Evans was calling it against Michael Jordan. That's when they got the Bulls wild on the bench. But it's Charles Barkley called for his fourth.
Well, that was a good call because Charles had came up under Michael Jordan. Here, Michael got the inside position and jumps up, and Charles give him a little nudge, a little elbow, and pushes him. Good call by the referee.
In the third quarter, Phoenix red hot, 12 for 23 from the field. Jordan with the step and pitched it out. The Bulls swing it. They did not have the good shot. Now Jordan finds the good shot.
What patience by the Bulls team. Jordan penetrates, kicks it to BJ, who has a shot. He doesn't take it. He pitches to Paxson, who has a shot. He doesn't take it. Who winds up taking the shot? The guy that started the whole thing, Michael Jordan. Patience on the clock.
Michael has 19. Crowd quiet as if they turned off the crowd record with the Suns setting up. Scott Williams, who started this fourth quarter, able to field that long pass. Williams played well in the first half. Jordan able to penetrate, and the Bulls with a 77-69 lead.
See what happens when you take Dan Marley and not put him on Michael Jordan? Richard Dumas comes running out there. You know you can't come running full speed at Michael Jordan. Ball fake, get inside, layup.
Frank Johnson. The Bulls by 6. They have led all the way. They led by as many as 20. In the first half, the Suns closed with a 15-6 run to end the second quarter. The ball goes back to Phoenix.
So Michael Jordan, who had 10 points in the first half, sees the seam, the opening, gets past Dumas after the fake. Easy score for him.
Johnson and Ames in the guards. Dumas, Barkley, Marley up front. Again, the double team, and Barkley had to throw it out. Again, the double team. Armstrong over. Johnson with the shot. Johnson just to beat the 24, and the Bulls lead by 4 points.
Frank Johnson was so complimentary to George Westphal yesterday. The fact that he instills confidence, allows the players to keep taking shots, shooting the ball, even if they're struggling on certain nights.
Marley and Barkley converge to get a piece of it. Look out, the foul called on Scott Williams. And it appears that he is shaken up. That's the first foul on Scott Williams. The Bulls trainer Chip Schaefer out to take a look.
Looks like he may have banged that hip in the collision. One of those hip pointer type injuries when he collided with Charles Barkley.
Well, here it comes right here. He's going to try to challenge Charles Barkley, and then he's going to fall. Oh, yeah, hip first. It might be. Hopefully, it's not a hip pointer.
9:40 remaining in this fourth quarter. We'll be right back.
Miller Genuine Draft presents Genuine Moments.
This Miller moment takes us back to the 1987 finals, the year Magic Johnson and the Lakers beat their arch rivals from Boston in 6, leading to this memorable prediction from Coach Pat Riley.
And I'm guaranteeing everybody here, next year we're going to win it again.
Well, the Lakers stood by his word, repeating as champs the following season. In recognition of this moment, Miller Genuine Draft will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Magic, what was your reaction when Pat promised the repeat championship?
We thought he was crazy. We were upset with him for saying that because we wanted to enjoy the one we had just won.
Putting a little pressure on. 2.5 gone by, fourth quarter. Phoenix with the ball. They're down by 4. Barkley rebounded by Grant. Barkley knocked it away, and a foul's called. Richard Dumas called for his third. Let's go over to Hannah Storm. Hannah?
Well, the Phoenix Suns have quite a cheering section over here. These are all the sons of the Suns. As you can see, they have their rally caps working. In fact, Skylar Chambers right here. If you'll take that off, Skylar, we can see that you even have your head shaped like his favorite player, Charles Barkley.
All right, Hannah. Michael Jordan not able to hit official said last touch by Phoenix. One said last touch by Chicago, and they are now having a conference. They changed the call. It was deflected out by the Bulls.
Well, that's why you have 3 officials on the floor. Make sure you get it straight. Little conference is okay. Shot goes up. Now, where did the ball wind up touching? Who did it go off of last? That's the decision.
Well, not only do you have 3 officials, but 3 of the best officials here.
Jordan with the steal. And Jordan goes all the way. You also may have noticed Scott Williams, who went down prior to the timeout, is okay, landing on the hip, but he is still on the floor and guarding Miller. 8.5 remaining, 4th quarter. 6-point Chicago lead. Dumas throwing glass. 20 points for Richard Dumas.
You can see here that Chicago has gone to that 3-guard offense right now, with Michael Jordan really playing small forward.
Jordan off the dribble. 25 for Jordan. Only on the transition. Nice job protecting the ball with Jordan looking for the steal.
When Michael goes to the basket, when Michael pulls up for a jumper, they take the defensive player on him and run him out right away, hoping they can get an easy one.
But Mike, that wasn't Michael's fault. You got 2 other guards in the game. Michael scored. Somebody should get back.
Chicago with a 4-point lead. Barkley chest to chest with Williams, going cross court for Paxson. So John Paxson extends to an 83-77 lead. Phoenix Suns have hit their last 4 shots. Here comes Armstrong looking to help, then he drops back. Oh, what a move! Barkley with the spin. It has been an off night for Charles, only 7 for 22. He has 14, but he has brought the Suns within 4. Miller providing the help on the double team. Jordan. And illegal defense has been called. Illegal defense.
Let's go back a few moments ago. When Michael Jordan goes up for a shot or penetrates, his defensive man will challenge and run out. But here's the guy up here, Paxson, who should be covering the backcourt for Chicago. Paxson stays right there, never gets back. Michael's shooting the shot. That's what happens.
Illegal defense, the second called on Phoenix. B.J. Armstrong with the technical. So he is 3 of 3 from the line, 13 points in all. Chicago 84 and Phoenix 79. 7:09 remaining in this 4th quarter. Chicago Bulls went 57-25 during the regular season. They won the Central Division. Ainge with the rebound of that shot that was too strong. Ainge thought he was fouled. Here's Barkley, and he was fouled by Williams.
Excellent job by Charles Barkley. The dribble had been picked up. There was pressure defense by Chicago. Charles Barkley was overplayed on the left wing, so Ainge lets him go backdoor, delivers the pass on time.
6 minutes, 52 seconds remaining in the game. Chicago leading by 5.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? By ITT. When it comes to building businesses, at ITT, we're adding more than just our name. And by Acura Automobiles. Experience precision-crafted performance.
Well, a beautiful day in the Phoenix area. It's about 10 minutes past 8 out of the west. 92 degrees outside. They love their Suns here in Phoenix. State employees given a memo told to wear Suns colors today in support of their basketball team. A reminder, this Friday, don't miss NBA Stories, a primetime special, which will take an in-depth behind-the-scenes look at some of this year's top stories in the NBA, including a close-up of future Chicago Bulls standout Tony Kukoc. It's coming up Friday night, NBA Stories, followed by Game 2 between the Phoenix Suns and the Chicago Bulls. Well, Charles Barkley only 7 of 22 from the field. 15 points, 9 rebounds. Michael Jordan getting a rest, 12 for 22 for 25 points.
Both guys have 22 attempts at the basket. Barkley 6 for 14 on the inside, 1 for 8 on the perimeter. Michael 6 for 8 on the inside, 6 for 14 on the outside.
This is an important time for the Chicago Bulls, especially if they're the road team. With Michael Jordan on the bench, let's see who's going to provide the offense for the Chicago Bulls.
And Jordan with 8 of the Bulls, 11 points in the fourth quarter. Some light pressure shown by the Suns. Bulls with a 3-point lead. They led by as many as 20. Shot clock running down. It's down to 2. Armstrong, very difficult angle shot. Knocked out of bounds by the Suns.
See, this is what happened. Now here comes Michael Jordan right back into the game. See, Bill Jackson was sensing that they couldn't get anybody involved in terms of getting somebody a shot because those guys out on the court besides Scottie Pippen, he's the only one that can break somebody down off the dribble.
So Jordan is back. Jordan, Grant Williams, Pippen and Armstrong on the floor. Jordan rebounded by Williams. And Michael Jordan will regroup. Crowd wanted to travel.
They have KJ trying to play Michael Jordan, and Chicago's trying to get it over to him for a mismatch.
And Jordan able to head off the fake on Johnson.
But see, that's a championship team for you, Chicago Bulls. They recognize that KJ is on Michael Jordan. They're going to try to get him the ball at every opportunity.
And now Jordan is guarding Johnson at the other end. Suns have hit their last 5. Kevin Johnson trying to penetrate and was stripped. Pippen around Dumas, around Age.
Oh my! You know, that was a bad play, first of all, by Dumas, because he tried to steal the ball and then Scottie just took it all the way.
Michael Jordan being played by KJ. They'll run a series of little screens to free him up, then a little fade move, show the ball, change of direction. Good clean look at the rim for Michael. Scottie Pippen then, who when you get him out in the floor, in the open court, is oh so dangerous. The long strides, the elevation, and the finish and foul.
Well, Michael Jordan with 10 points in the fourth quarter has passed Elgin Baylor on the all-time playoff scoring list and is only 9 points away from the number 5 man, Magic Johnson. I know a very sad moment for you.
Definitely, because he's going to pass me tonight, so that'll be over.
So Michael gunning for Magic, just 9 away.
And that last time out, Phil Jackson trying to make some decisions. Who is the next guy that's going to step up and supply a little bit of scoring for Chicago? It just can't be left up to Michael. And he mentioned we've been in this situation a number of times during the season. Now maybe they'll run a few things to try and get Scottie Pippen more involved.
Scottie Pippen 0 for 3 from the foul line. Johnson was fouled. He was hacked by Armstrong. The Bulls 88, the Suns 81 with 5:23 remaining in the game, and Kevin Johnson will go to the line. That's 3 on B.J. Armstrong. Johnson is 1 for 1 from the line. Kevin Johnson went through an injury hit regular season, limited to 49 games. He was out earlier this year with a badly bruised right calf muscle. He's an 82% free throw shooter.
And the thing about him, Marv, he got hurt because of 2 of his own players. You know, Charles Barkley tried to jump up into his arms and hurt his knee. He tried to pick up Oliver Miller, and he strained his groin. So it was freak plays that really injured KJ.
It's a 5-point Chicago lead as we come up on 5 minutes remaining in the game. Game 1 of the best of 7 NBA Final Series. Jordan. And Pippen able to get to it. Armstrong for 3. Rebounded by Scott Williams. 12 rebounds for Williams. Another Chicago opportunity. And they cannot take advantage. Phoenix with the ball trailing by 5 points. They isolate Johnson with Armstrong. Armstrong closing the baseline. Now Barkley with 6 on the 24. Barkley, yes. Charles very close to a travel when he started that move.
Yeah, he got a little mixed up on his foot fake that time, almost stumbled into a travel, but he got away with it, made a very, very big shot for Phoenix.
They're on their feet here in Phoenix. The Suns have moved within 3. Shot clock down to 3, down to 2. Pippen for 3. And it's rebounded by Dumas. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the game. The Suns have come from 20 back. Barkley with the fake. Johnson. And Scott Williams able to collar the loose ball. Here's Jordan. Jordan is fouled.
You saw that coming. And he had the big man backpedaling, and Michael took it right inside, and he wanted the contact.
Barkley, after giving a little bit of fake, elevates a little bit of fade, just enough to get it over the top of the outstretched hand of Grant. And then Michael, always trying to do here, he gets no clean look, initiate body contact, get to the free throw line, try to make those 2 foul shots.
And the Bulls, only 6 of 11 from the line. They are not a good free throw shooting team. Jordan is 2 of 3 from the line. Michael Jordan has burned it up when it comes to the NBA championship round. His shooting off earlier in the playoffs. Here's Johnson, rejected by Grant. Armstrong for Pippen, and a foul called on Dumas.
You know, you gotta love the Chicago Bulls. This is what makes champions. Defense right here, block shot by Horace Grant. Then they get out on the break and go down and get a foul. Here's a block one more time. I tell you, that's team defense.
Team defense starts with the word belief. You have to believe in one another. When one guy gets beat, the next guy covers, and you have to continue to cover for one another.
Scottie Pippen is now 0 for 4 from the line. Earlier we discussed the fact that he's not a good foul shooter at 66%. 5-point Chicago lead. Meanwhile, the Suns have managed to come back despite the fact that Charles Barkley has had a horrendous shooting game, 8 for 23. How about Kevin Johnson, 3 for 10, only 2 assists.
But they've been doing an excellent job of keeping him out of the lane, cutting his penetration off, and that's Kevin's game.
Marley taking advantage of an overplay, rebounded by Grant. It's a 3-on-1. Armstrong for Pippen.
See, when you crash the offensive board on Chicago, they will get out and run on you, and that's what happened there.
Jump shots produce long rebounds. That's one way teams can get out and run. And then if you go in and send too many people to get offensive rebounds and you don't cover your backcourt, well, here's what happens. 3-on-1, not much you can do.
So the Bulls with 5 straight points. They now lead by 8. 2:46 left in the game.
And a storm back at America West Arena with a very excited Johnny Mickens. This is Charles's grandmother and first coach in for the game from Leeds, Alabama. What do you think of Charles's play down the stretch? What does he need to do to bring the team back, Johnny?
Just got to keep his boys and stay into the game and play some defense.
All right, there you have it. Marv?
Well, some sound advice, huh?
I think she knows the game.
Johnson turned back. The Bulls take advantage of the turnover. Michael Jordan able to swing it to the corner. Bulls not rushing their shots, again showing the patience. Now Armstrong is open for the three-pointer and hits it.
Marv showing the patience of a championship team.
Third from downtown for B.J. Armstrong, and the Bulls now lead 96-85. Johnson got inside and missed. Kevin Johnson has had a very long night. We're under 2 minutes remaining in the game. Suns have missed their last 5 shot attempts. Phoenix has 1 timeout remaining, 1 conventional, and a 20. Bulls with 4 timeouts plus their 20. Shot clock running down. Here is Jordan. And that's a 24-second violation.
You're involved in an 8-point game, you still got a chance. Chicago swings it, finds the best 3-point shooter in the league. B.J. Armstrong knocks it down. The 8-point lead goes to 11. Charles knows that's not a good sign.
And then right after that, Dan Marley played excellent defense on Michael Jordan.
Johnson, Bulls 96, and the Suns 87. Timeout taken by Scott Williams. He could not find anyone to inbound to. So a minute 26 remaining in this fourth quarter, and the Bulls leading at 96-87. Reminder tonight, following your late local news, don't miss the Tonight Show with Jay Leno featuring singer Betty Carter, then Late Night with David Letterman. His guests include comedian Dennis Miller, followed by Later with Bob Costas. Bob obviously very busy with the NBA Finals, handing over the show temporarily to guest host Matt Lauer, who will be talking with Montel Williams. That's all tonight right here on NBC. Chicago on top. Jordan had it knocked away by Dumas, and the Bulls have 16 on the 24.
Well, you can look for Chicago now to just use the clock. Go wind the clock down right to the end and then take the shot then.
The Chicago Bulls seeking to take away the home court advantage of the Phoenix Suns with the victory here in Game 1. Game 2 Friday night here in Phoenix, then they move to Chicago for games 3 and 4. Barkley for 3. Charles Barkley hammers from 3-point range to bring Phoenix within 6. Just under 1 minute to go in the game.
There's still plenty of time left in this basketball game. They need a few breaks, but that's not one of them right there.
Well, the whole team of the Phoenix Suns just watch Michael just go in for the easy layup. You got to converge on him.
Maybe they thought he was going to pull it out, pass it around for a while, Magic. Use some time up.
Barkley, Pippen with the rebound, and he's fouled by Ainge. Michael Jordan has 31, 14 of the 31 in the fourth quarter, so a fast finish by Michael Jordan.
In transition, Charles knew he had to get a shot up quickly, get a clean look, get set, follow through, and then nothing but net on the three-pointer. But then Chicago brings it right down, and perhaps Phoenix thought he was going to pull it out. No way. He saw the opening. He takes advantage.
Charles Barkley, 9 for 25. Scottie Pippen is now 1 for 6 from the line. And Barkley and Johnson depart. Not a good one for the two stars of this Phoenix Suns ball club. Barkley finished with 21 points on the 9 for 25 shooting. Johnson only 4 of 13.
Well, Mark, they have to know in their minds that they can shoot better. So they can feel good about this game in terms of, because they didn't shoot well in terms of the Phoenix Suns, they were still in it. Danny Ainge goes all the way. So they have something to build on at least.
You think they really could feel good about this, though?
Well, I do, because they it's only a 7-point game right now. I feel that Chicago should have almost blew them out the way they shot the ball from the outside. So in their minds, in terms of the Phoenix Suns, they can feel good that they dominated the offensive boards and say, look, we know we're going to shoot better, so let's just come back, play a better game on Friday, shoot better, and we can win the game.
It is 99-92, Chicago on top. I would think this is the last place Scottie Pippen wants to be at this point. He has just had a horror show at the foul line. He's had another solid game, 26 points, but 2 of 8 from the line.
Well, you know, tomorrow that's where he will be, at the free throw line, working on the free throws and try to improve there.
The Bulls lead 100-92.
Regular season, a 66% free throw shooter. Brought it up to 68 actually for the playoff games thus far, but struggling today from the line. Scottie Pippen.
And Ainge fouled by Jordan. 23 and 6/10 seconds remaining. The Chicago Bulls during the regular season, second best road record in the league, 26 and 15. Second best to the Suns, who went 27 and 14.
And Mark, the Phoenix Suns going to have to find a way to free up Dan Marley and Danny Ainge for shots in game 2.
Dumas blew the stop. Dumas has been one of the bright spots throughout for the Suns. So the Chicago Bulls take game 1. They led by as many as 20. Phoenix did come back, but Chicago led all the way, and they win it 100-92. Michael Jordan with 31 points. Scottie Pippen with 27. B.J. Armstrong, 16. Charles Barkley with 21, but a poor shooting game. Charles 9 for 25. The Bulls finish up shooting 53%. Let's go to Ahmad with Michael
All right,
Jordan.
thanks, Marv. Michael, you guys showed a lot of patience in the second half after being up by 20. Then you showed a lot of patience in just staying ahead.
Well, we hung in there. We knew we gave away the momentum when we was up 18, 20 points. And they got the momentum going in the half, and we came back and established ourselves a little bit in the second half, and we were able to fight off their surges.
I reported before the game when I was in the locker room that you guys really seemed confident coming into this series.
Well, you got to realize that we're an experienced team. We've been here before. We know what it's going to take to win. We got to go out there and put it on the basketball court. I think one thing that happened with Phoenix, this is their first time to the finals, so they're maybe a little bit too hyped. But they're going to go back and look at the films and make adjustments for tomorrow.
Had to be happy about your defense. Held the highest scoring team in the league below 100 points.
Well, we knew we wanted to control the tempo. This team is a run-and-gun type of team, and when they get in a fast-breaking game, they're very dangerous. But our defense, we just wanted to control the tempo.
Now, tell me one thing. Are you going to talk to the written press at the end of this game?
Yeah, I'm going to talk. I feel that that time is over with. I made a statement from my standpoint. I got some of my teammates some exposure, so I feel good. I will talk.
All right, man. Good luck to you, man. All right, back to you, Marv.
He got his teammates exposure, so the vow of silence has ended. Michael Jordan coming up with an excellent game, 31 points. The Bulls holding the Suns to 92. The Suns average 113 points to lead the league during the regular season. Chicago taking game 1. We'll be right back.